Hey everyone, Cleo's Glory Young here. So guess where I'm at? I'm here in nature as usual, but it is quite interesting because day by day as I come here, and I've been coming here consistently for the past couple of weeks, but it's like each day that I come here, it's like a whole nother level of understanding about life that I'm getting, and it's like it's opening up my life to go on a whole new paradigm. So coming here today, it was quite different from being here even yesterday. Today, it was like looking at it, and I started to think about it from a revelation that came to me. All the other videos that I've done, it said I'm coming and I'm being in nature, and it's a natural environment. But today, it just revealed to me, and it just clicked. It's like, who created all of this? The water, the land, the trees, the birds, the insects, the animals. Like, who created all of this? And yes, I know it's God. I knew that. But then I looked at it from a whole different angle. Was like, you're not just coming and being a part of nature, you're actually coming and being a part of God's house. It's like, it just dawned on me today. It's like, you're coming and being a part of God's house. And it's like, you're getting all the benefits of being in God's house. And prior to this, I thought that God's house was this place that I go to on a weekly basis and we do worship service. That was the original context of what God's house is. And then 2020 arrived, and then the pandemic came, and then these buildings got shut down. So it's like, oh, hold up. So you mean that you shut down God's house? But today it just dawned on me, it's like, oh, that wasn't God's house. That was man's house. Man built that. Nobody can shut this down. No one can shut down nature, at least that I'm aware of. It, it is open 24 hours a day, and it naturally operates on its own. And it's like being in God's house, it's like you get all the full benefits of what happens when, quote unquote, you would go to like a service saying that, hey, I'm going to service, I'm going to worship, and being in God's house, right? Take that and then come here now and multiply that 100 times. That's the difference of when you go to what house is built by man compared to what happened when you come here and you're part of God's house. And I can testify for that, right? Day by day as I'm coming here, it's like I'm getting revelation, and therapeutically wonderful. Like, I get to hear sounds like this. You hear the stream? I don't know if you're able to listen to the birds as they chirp. Like, I get to hear that. I get to be in a natural environment, and I get to be in a place where it's like these things are naturally rubbing off on me. So it's like it's allowing my life to go on a whole different level. And it really dawned on me today, from me recently listening to a song. Like, this is my favorite song to listen to now. It's called Lights, and the artist's name is Chronix. So Chronix talks about likes, as in, when you go on social media and you get a like for something that you posted. So he's talking about in the song that he sees different musicians that are getting likes on social media and they're getting hype. And then when he goes on flights or he's on tour, he doesn't see any of them. So it's like, you're getting a lot of likes on social media and getting a lot of hypes, but when I go on the flights or go on tour, I don't see you. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because before today, right, I've never seen any family that have posted on social media or talk about them taking their family to go be in God's house, as in this, nature. I've never seen it in that context. It's always like, okay, I'm going to the park with my family, but not religiously, as they would say, hey, look here, I'm going to be in a service with my family, or I'm going to church. It's like looking at that from that angle, it's like, hey, I've never seen that before. So as I said, prior to this, I was thinking that God's house was this building that we go to on a day-to-day basis. Now, for me to be spending time here, these things are now revealing to me like, hey, that's not my building. This is my house. This is the place that I build, and this is why you have the birds that live here. You have the squirrels, you have the different animals, you have the different insects, you always have water, the trees. Like, this is God's house. And yes, I could stand here and talk it all I want to talk, and you're like, oh, you're making stuff up. Or, all right, let's go biblical. Jesus, right, was accustomed to going to these buildings. And what happened when he went to the buildings? They kicked him out. So he had to go where? In nature, in God's house. To go do what? His sermons? Or he went out and he prayed in the mountains. So I'm not just making stuff up. It's like, hey, you got kicked out of the house, right? The building. They can't kick you out of the mountain. And that's where Jesus went. And he did his most important prayers in the mountains. All right, beyond that now, let's look at Moses. How did Moses get the 10 Commandments? Not from a building. He had to go up into the mountains. The mountain, right? The mountain what? Is nature. So he actually went up in the mountain to get the 10 Commandments. But beyond that 10 Commandments that he got, right? What else happened there? Two significant things happened there. He spent time there. It wasn't like, oh, I just went up there and I got the 10 Commandments and I came down. No, he spent time there. And when he was spending time there in the mountain, what happened? Who did he meet? He met God. Translate this now. Where do you spend most of your time right now? Home. And when people do what? They come there, they visit you where? At your house. Your home. So the context of people meeting you, they would meet you at your house. So that's the same thing. Moses met God at God's house. And that's how he got the 10 Commandments. Where did that take place? In the mountain. So I'm not just making stuff up. It's like they didn't teach us this, that this is the true house of God. This is where the birds call their home. This is where the insect called their home. This is where the squirrels called their home. This is where the bees called their home. This is where all this thing, right, naturally happens. And there's no man that I'm aware of that could shut a place like this down. Nature. None. So for me, it was like, it just dawned on me today. I was like, wow, I don't see people posting and saying, hey, I'm going to take my family so I could be in God's house, as in nature, and really getting the full benefit out of it. And I'm saying that because these things that I'm sharing with you right now is like, it's because I've been coming here and I've been spending time here. And it's like, these are the things that are being revealed to me. And I'm like, wow, imagine that. If people started coming here more and more, and it's like, hey, they're spending more time and being in God's house, it's like things like this will happen to their life where they're getting the benefits. Like, I've never heard where a bird like flew from here to come to our area to get like stuff that they need to take back here. It's like everything is here. I mean, yes, we see birds in our area, but those are the birds that lives in those areas. And they constantly what? They constantly have to look for us to feed them. But when they're here, it's like they never run out of food. And we who live in a house, right? It's like we constantly run out of stuff. We have to go to the supermarket to go get food. We have to go out here to go do this and bring it back home. It's like when you're here, you get everything. Those 10 commandments happened in a place like this. That's where Moses went to get his 10 commandments and brought them back down. And that helped to shape civilization. So it's like, come and spend time in God's house, and it will allow you to come back down and do what? Go shape civilization. Stuff that I'm getting here, it's like unbelievable, but it shouldn't be. Then again, if you now that I'm really thinking about it, it's like, hey, you're coming to God's house, so it shouldn't be unbelievable. But that's what I was thinking before. But it's like, no, these are things that naturally happen when you spend time in God's house. And yes, things can be revealed to you when you're in a building. But one of the videos that I did, I said, hey, you can play basketball in a classroom. Yes, you'll play, but it's a whole different benefit you get when you play on the court. And that's the same thing that I'm saying. It's like when you're here, it's a whole different benefit that applies to your life because you're in God's house. And this is something that I just saw today. It just revealed to me today. All my other videos that I did before, I was saying, hey, I'm coming in nature. And then today it was like, hey, it's nature, but who created all of this? And then it just started clicking. And from the story of Jesus to Moses to even Abraham, it just started clicking. And I was like, wow. And then I remember I was teaching a course. It's called I Am Bigger course. Ironically, I have on a shirt today. Look at that. I was teaching the course, and there's a video. You can go and watch it on YouTube. It's called The Flea Experiment. And this is where I'm actually basing this on, because I recall the video today. Like when it dawned on me, click with that video as well. When you put fleas into a bottle, which you'll see, it takes away their oxygen. Being in nature, it actually gives you pure oxygen. Just look at the video and see what happened to the life of the flea. And that's what I'm saying. When you come to a place like this, it's like it puts your life on a whole different level. And the reason for that I'm now seeing is that I'm in God's house. So I could come here and get what I need to get, right? And then I could come back down and reshape society. And for me, it was like very intricate that I have this understanding, because I'm not the only one who is doing something like this. Like, it has been done before. So it was just quite interesting that I've never seen a family or an individual post and said, hey, I was in God's house. So guess what? I'm gonna go back and enjoy being here in God's house and getting all this full benefit of being here. In the meantime, be safe, be healthy, and do things to increase your sanity. God bless.